Hello everyone, this is Darsonovi here. This is another review on another Signal issue, which is called Armor. It's essentially a one-shot. I don't think it really can stand on its own, considering its connections to other storylines earlier in this comic series. This continues the ongoing storyline of Quinlan Vos being undercover for Count Dooku, and this also actually, for the first time, we actually get to see, how Honaker ended up in the state that it's in the Thrawn trilogy. They talked about how there was a battle above Honaker and how their planet was the life was pretty much wiped out. Well, in this comic, we actually get to see that. We get to see a visual representation of what happened. So I actually love that they did this, considering the fact that this is just another connection to earlier expanded universe materials, and it proves expanded universe haters wrong that there is no continuity. There was. In fact, this is probably the part in the EU where continuity was at its strongest. You had material that was tying into earlier material. And that's one thing I love about this issue. Of course, that aside, what do I think of the story? I think the story is really good, especially if you're a fan of Quinlan Vos like I am and you've been following his storyline for a while, reading this, you're not going to be disappointed, actually. Because at this point, the reader and all the Jedi are wondering, has Quinlan Vos fallen to the dark side completely? I know there's a follow-up mini arc that will actually, answer that. At least I think so. I haven't looked up spoilers, so don't spoil what happens in this storyline, please. But the art is great as usual. I think it's amazing. In my opinion, I think art is very important in a comic. I think it's a really good story. You're not going to appreciate it as much if you haven't read the other material. It's a really short story, but it's one of the rare occasions where we actually get to get inside a clone trooper's head in the comics. We get that a good amount in the novels, but we don't get it that much in the comics. And I think it's refreshing to actually read what's going on with these clone troopers. What do they actually think of their Jedi commanders and what they do? Yes, you get details into the novels, but not everyone reads books. In fact, believe it or not, there's sections of the Star Wars fandom that prefers reading comics or novels. So those who are primarily comic book readers, this is a treat, because actually it's not very often we get to read inside a stormtrooper or a clone trooper's head. We get to know what's going on. And they also tied it into Knights of the Old Republic, which I forgot to mention, because they mentioned the Rakata. They go into a Rakata temple. So there's so many connections. I think this is a good story, and John Ostrander does an amazing job, with these stories as usual. This is Darsonovia. May the Force be with you, and next time we'll talk about the next story arc in this awesome comic series.